Good morning and welcome back class 8 students. In this class, we will begin with extinguishing fire. So fire is generally extinguished by any of the following methods. First of all, by spraying water. So when water is sprayed over the burning object, it helps to extinguish fire in two ways. First of all, it brings temperature of the combustible material below its ignition temperature. Therefore, the fire gets extinguished. In the previous class, you have learned about ignition temperature. It is the lowest temperature below which the substance would not burn. Therefore, if the temperature of the combustible material is brought below its ignition temperature, then the fire can be extinguished. Okay, so spraying water brings the temperature below ignition temperature. Second of all, the water vapor formed due to the heat, due to pouring water, this water vapor cuts the supply of the air. Okay, we already know that if the supply of air is cut, then the fire can be extinguished. So due to the absence of air, which is the supporter of combustion, the fire gets extinguished slowly. Here in this photograph you can see firemen throwing water on a building. However, water should never be used for extinguishing fire which is caused due to oil. It is because oil is lighter than water. So oil forms a thin layer over the surface of water. Thereby it spread fire to larger areas. In this case we have to use highly volatile compounds such as carbon dioxide and carbon tetrachloride, which are used inside this fire extinguisher. A fire can be controlled by spraying carbon dioxide or carbon tetrachloride, which is sold under the commercial name pyridine on it. So both these compounds are highly volatile. Therefore, they immediately vaporize to cut off the supply of air. Hence, absence of supporter of combustion help in extinguishing the fire. Okay, as because these chemicals are highly volatile, so they immediately vaporize and cut off the supply of air. Here you can see these chemicals are sprayed from the fire extinguisher. You must have seen this fire extinguisher in your school building and in many office buildings, banks, hospitals, everywhere, even inside your school transport, right? So it is a very useful material. So for your knowledge, fire extinguishers are of two types: carbon dioxide fire extinguisher and soda acid fire extinguisher. Carbon dioxide fire extinguisher contain carbon dioxide filled under high pressure in the cylinders. These fire extinguishers cool down the combustible substance besides cutting off the air supply. Whereas soda acid fire extinguishers are generally filled with concentrated solutions of H2SO4 and NaHCO3, that is sulfuric acid and sodium hydrogen carbonate, or commonly called sodium bicarbonate. These two solutions mix together inside the extinguisher and form carbon dioxide that helps in extinguishing fire. You must remember that while using the extinguisher, these two solutions, that is sulfuric acid and sodium carbonate, get mixed together, react and produce carbon dioxide. So it is known as soda acid fire extinguisher. Students, you must know that sand is also sometimes used to extinguish fire because the layer of sand can cut off the oxygen supply, which is supporter of burning. Okay, or even we can use a blanket. So we can use sand, we can that is sprinkle sand, or we can cover the surface with a blanket. Okay, to cut off the air supply. One more type is of the foaming fire extinguisher. In this method, supply of air is cut off by forming a light in weight fireproof layer of foam around the burning material. Okay, so this is also very useful as extinguishing fire. So students, you must read your text, read and learn these points. Now following are two very important points that you should remember. Number one, water should also not be used for extinguishing fire which is caused due to electrical short circuit. You know, because yes, you are very much able to answer this, because it can cause the danger of electrocution. Okay, because water being highly conducting substance of fire, that is heat. Okay, that the electric heat and electricity. Therefore, water should not be sprayed while there is fire due to electric short circuit. One more point, here you can see a person whose clothes have caught fire can be wrapped in a thick blanket, because the blanket cuts off the supply of air and helps in extinguishing the fire. So these points you must remember and should apply if and when needed, but hopefully we can avoid such circumstances, avoid such situations by being more cautious. Okay, more cautious and more protective in our daily life. Now let's learn about the different types of combustion. Let us begin with the first, that is rapid combustion, which is called burning. In this type, a substance combines chemically with oxygen above its ignition temperature. Burning of hydrocarbon fuel, that is kerosene, petrol, LPG, these are the examples of rapid combustion. You must have seen that we can start the LPG very quickly. Now, these are the following chemical reactions that you have to write and practice, like combustion of carbon. Carbon in all types of fuels, whether it is kerosene, petrol, coal, or even LPG. Carbon react with oxygen and form carbon dioxide with heavy heat produced and sometimes light also, right? And combustion of hydrocarbons, for example, burning of methane, that is CH4, which is also known as natural gas. Burning of methane in presence of oxygen in air also produces carbon dioxide, water vapor, heat and light. LPG, which mainly contain butane, which is another type of hydrocarbon, produces carbon dioxide, water vapor, heat and light. So methane, butane, these are the examples of hydrocarbons which are combustible substances in our nature. Combustion of magnesium, we have already read in the previous chapter, metals, how magnesium ribbon burn in presence of oxygen and produces magnesium oxide. These are the examples of rapid combustion, that is burning of candle, burning of paper, burning of wood, cloth. These are the examples of rapid combustion. Whereas a combustion reaction in which no light is produced and temperature of the substance remains almost unchanged, such type of combustion or burning is known as slow combustion. Yes, here you can see the first of all example is digestion of food. Digestion of food, or that is the cellular respiration process, which we call as burning of food. Burning of food inside our body, inside each and every cell, is an example of slow combustion. And secondly, oxidation of yellow phosphorus at room temperature. Slow combustion produces no light and very less amount of heat. Now there are certain substances which burn completely in presence of sufficient oxygen. Such type of burning is called complete burning or complete combustion. Okay, so when fuels with carbon burn in sufficient supply of oxygen is called complete combustion, which produces carbon dioxide, heat and light. But if the fuel is burnt in presence of insufficient oxygen or limited quantity of air, then such type of combustion produces less amount of heat and it is known as incomplete combustion. Here you can see, due to incomplete combustion, carbon monoxide is produced. Carbon monoxide, which is a deadly poisonous gas. Therefore, incomplete combustion is a waste of energy and hazardous process. So in complete combustion, carbon produces its highest oxide, that is carbon dioxide, while in incomplete combustion, intermediate product is produced, that is carbon monoxide, which is highly poisonous gas. So finally we conclude this class with the types of combustion. Students, please write down and learn the different types of combustion in your exercise copy. Thank you very much. Meet you in the next class.